Welcome to the second part of this free training. Do not underestimate how simple secret number one is, because it is kind of like a public secret that everyone knows about, but no one knows how. In this free training, I'm gonna detail how, and at the end, I will ask you if I have kept my promise. So please, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them below, and let's look at secret number one. Secret number one, anyone can do it if they have the formula. In this presentation, I'll be sharing with you what the formula is. And remember, your attendance bonus is the first practical step towards it. Typically, what comes to mind is, what can I teach? And the answer is, you are to teach anything that you're able to provide value for your audience. This could be something you have done for a long time that you've become an expert at, or something you got obsessed with, so you've been researching like crazy, and now you have this amazing value that you're able to share with the world. It could also be a skill that feels normal to you but amazing to others. Strategic coach calls this unique ability. And the idea is like, this is the skill that you keep on practicing. It's so natural to you and you feel like it's very normal to do it. You're not even considering that this is something special, but the people are able to see it. It's kind of like your nose. You're not able to see it, but everyone else can. So if you're doing something that is naturally amazing at an excellent level, and even though you feel that it's very normal to do that thing, and you might think that everyone else can do it, yet you keep on receiving feedback from others that they're not able to do it. How did you do it? This is amazing. Then consider that you could be within your unique ability. It can also be something you figured out, whether it's a problem in your life or a key skill, perhaps in business or in marketing, in accounting, in finance, something that you've struggled with before, like, for example, how to manage your finances, how to distribute responsibilities within your household for a family of 3 kids. It can be something very specific to you, but you'll be surprised how common these specific issues are. How to get out of a toxic relationship without losing yourself. How to have a child-centered divorce. Then it could be an answer to a question you keep being asked. If people repeatedly come to you asking you a certain question, this could be the biggest sign that you are ready to create an online course within that topic. The second question that comes to mind, and which is part of the formula, is how to teach. Ideally, if you are able to frame your success and your approach, the journey to how you are able to achieve your result, so that other people can model it and recreate it, then you are a course creator. But if you find this difficult, and I know that this is not natural for a lot of people, because a lot of people would have successes that they're not able to teach to others because they are unable to frame it. But hear me out, I'm gonna share with you a story that is very common, and it happens to a lot of us. It happens to at least each one of us at least once in their lifetime. And this story will help you to reframe from the idea that I cannot teach, I'm not a teacher, towards these are my lessons learned, and I can share them with somebody to help them in their growth journey, to help them become an expert at something. So imagine that this is life and you're just going on in your life until the day that you stumble upon a problem. And that problem feels as if it's bigger than you, as if it's gonna consume you, and you have no idea what that problem is. I'm gonna use the example of a health problem that we faced in our family. And for you, just think of a problem that happened to you, and when it happened, you felt as if the ground is shaking under your feet, and as if this is something you have no idea how to face, how to handle. You don't even know what is the size of this problem coming your way, and you feel so consumed by it. So for us, this was 2 years ago when my dad had a stroke, and he was the main provider of the family, the main support. We've all had our independent lives, but we kind of like had that support, the person that we all go to. And all of a sudden, he got the stroke, and now our roles have all shifted. And in addition to being a mom and having a new business and working on my dreams, I also had to step into another role of being a caregiver. And that was difficult because we had no idea what a stroke is, how to deal with it. Is it something that just goes away? Physiotherapy, exercises, continuous encouragement, all these were kind of new terms to us. We've never, as a family, experienced them this way. So you go on in your life, you're going on in your life, and then earth starts shaking, your whole reality is about to shift. You're looking down to the ground, and there is this hole, and all of a sudden you're falling down in this hole. You fall down and you go all the way down to the rock bottom. Ideally, when you're in the rock bottom, you feel lonely, you feel unheard, misunderstood, and you have no idea what to do. Like, you just fell down in a problem that is bigger than you, and you have no idea how to get out of this situation that to you at that point seemed like it's never going to end. So if you could relate to that, I'd like to take you back a little bit to that experience and share with you something that is very common among people who are at rock bottom. Most people at that hopeless moment start praying. And here you are on your knees at rock bottom, and you're praying, please God, help me get out of this situation. If you help me get out of this situation, if you give me the strength, I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to help people. I'm going to do whatever promises that you have been promising. And then somehow your mind starts shifting, or someone shows up in your life. You have a different perspective. You start to climb that hole up. And you start in a learning growth journey, and you're stacking lessons learned, and you're becoming this new version of yourself. And this is typically how people get out of problems, or how they figure out problems, or even learn new skills after they've hit rock bottom. Now imagine if when you were looking down at that hole, someone came to you and they were like, listen up, you're about to hit 1, 2, 3, and the way to get out of it is 1, 2, 3, and take care about 1, 2, 3. Do not do 1, 2, 3 because I have done these mistakes, and these mistakes are very pricey. All you have to focus on is 1, 2, 3. So imagine that this person showed up in your life, and they were able to create this bridge that transfers you from point A, where you had no idea what the skill you need to master is, you had no idea how to do it, and they created this bridge that helped you to become a better version of yourself without going through the pain of falling in that hole and hitting rock bottom. Imagine how much time you would have saved and how much energy and how much peace of mind you would accomplish. Now let's look at some vocabulary. And before we look at some vocabulary, let me just go back here a little bit and ask you, if you are to go back to yourself, to your past self, 2 years ago or 5 years ago, and meet yourself when you were about to face that situation that shook your reality. And if you are to give yourself the best advice, that is to prevent you from going through the pain of that exercise, that pain of falling in the hole. If you are to give yourself the best lessons that prevents you from learning those lessons, but kind of like doing the mistakes you have done, the compromises that you now think of as unnecessary for going through that growth journey, preventing you from all the mistakes you've done, just giving you the juicy stuff of what is the best way to get out of that situation. How valuable would that information be to you? Now let's look at the vocabulary. The hole is a life problem. It might as well be a skill. Imagine if you are an accountant and you've been working in accounting for 15 years, and if you are able to go back to your past self 15 years ago and teach yourself the experience that you've accumulated throughout the last 15 years. When I started photography, I had no idea what I was doing, and I made an offer with 99 dirhams, and I learned through photography. I used to spend a long time in editing. If I am to go back to myself now and tell myself, focus in the setup, focus in building a connection with your clients, and don't spend so much time in editing and use this software for editing, how much time would I will be really saving myself to reach that point of having my own process and being able to do it and not spending so much time in my session. So this is kind of like a life problem that I face, which is like being an experienced photographer. And if I could package it today and sell it to beginner photographer, my whole system of 10 or 15 years plus, that allows me today to have shootings back to back and be comfortable and have a great quality and not spending so much effort, right? So then the bridge is the course. These are the lessons learned. This is the juicy stuff. This is how you are able to transfer your students from point A to point B, where they have the expertise, where they have the knowledge, and where they have the skills to be able to duplicate your success. The grown-up version of you, this is your course results. Think about it as your course promise. This is what you're gonna promise your students. If I would go back to myself 2 years ago, when I had no idea about online courses, and I would promise myself that through the bridge, through my course, I would teach you how to create a profitable online course effortlessly. That would be a very valuable promise for me back then. So then, summary of secret number 1 is you have something that could help someone avoid the pain of figuring it out on their own, and that someone is looking for an answer and is willing to pay for. Because remember when I asked you, how valuable would it be for you to go back to your past self and just give yourself all the answers to how to get over that problem that you have been facing? You'll be surprised how common these problems are and how people are willing to invest in their time and freedom and effort. The third point I want you to consume today is that if you could frame your knowledge, model it in a way someone could recreate it, you are a course creator. If you can do that just by going through this secret that I just shared with you now, and my hope for you is that you have already changed your perspective about the fact that you're not a teacher, or you can't reframe your success because of that story I just shared with you. Because now you realize that all you have to do is to talk to your past self and go through the lessons learned so that you are able to duplicate your journey. If you're not able to do that, then don't worry, I've got you. During the next secrets and bonuses, I will be sharing with you more insights that will enable you even more. And if you want me to do it with you, then I got you. Thanks for watching. You completed secret number 1. Now drop any questions that you have below so that I get back to you and I get them answered as soon as possible. And let's continue to secret number 2.